So, first of all, we are so sorry to hear about the death of your co-star, Luke Perry.
Yeah, thank you.
We were heartbroken and are heartbroken, and we can't even imagine what you guys went through.
Yeah, it was really tough. I mean, nobody expected it, right? You know, and I think as a show, you know, it's not the same afterwards, and so it becomes a slightly different show because I think Luke was such a father figure to so many people. He took a real active interest in so many other people's careers that he's sorely missed, you know, and he is a good voice of reason and a lot of fun as well. And yeah, so our hearts go out to his family. I've got to say, he's a doting dad. Yeah, and he's a surrogate dad to KJ, who plays Archie, you know. So that I think is where he's most missed. The big gap is
The father figure?
Yeah, the kind father figure.
What was your initial reaction when?
I just thought, you know, in my life, people get up and walk away. It's all okay. You know, I haven't dealt with a lot of that. So when we heard that he had a stroke, I thought, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, at the same time, the person that he was, he wouldn't fuss about it, you know. He would you know, it's okay, guys, come on. You know, and he'd have a chuckle in his voice. And I mean, you look at his amazing children. He has amazing children, Sophie and Jack, and the way, you know, they are just so pragmatic, positive, obviously grief-stricken, but still just, you know, getting on with their grieving process, but also their lives, and just beautiful and unassuming people. So that's kudos to Luke and their mum, you know. Yeah.
What is something that people would be surprised to know about Luke Perry?
Oh, well, I tell the story of how I met him.
Oh, tell us the story.
So when we were doing the pilot reading of Riverdale, he came around going, "Hey, I'm Luke Perry." and he shook my hand and I went, "Luke, I know you." And he was like, so I told him the story of 2004 when we were both in Cape Town, South Africa, and we had a combined rap party for our two projects that we were working on. And I parked my car and he jumped out of, I think he just dropped out of the sky, maybe off a balcony, and landed on the hood of my car. Just like a surfer, like a sort of a Spider-Man. And I was like, "Get off my rental, you just dented my rental." And everyone's like, "It's Luke Perry." And I was like, "I don't care who it is, get off my car." So I was like, "Yeah, I met you in Cape Town." And he was like, "Right, Cape Town, good times."
You're like that time when I almost wrecked the car.
Yeah.
Do you have, besides for that, do you have a favorite memory of
Luke? Well, you know, we used to joke. Well, as I always start with, we used to joke. We just used to laugh all the time, which I think is, you know, the tone that Luke set on set. Everybody had a good time with Luke, but we used to joke that because Luke is, you know, he's like the carpenter, the builder.
Yeah.
Fred, you know, his character. That because my appalling daughter Cheryl burnt down Thornhill. That Fred would have to come by and rebuild, and
that giant
yes, and thus a relationship would form between Fred and Penelope, and because he has a bit of a thing for redheads, there may be some sort of love interest. So we would always kind of go, one day.
One thing that I read a lot was a lot of celebrities were talking, people that have worked with him, were talking about his hugs.
Yeah.
Specifically, he had the best hugs.
You know when people mean a hug, right? Or if they're just kind of heading off somewhere else with other things on their mind.
Yeah.
He had the best hugs, and he would come into the makeup trailer, and he would do little shoulder squeezes along the, because you know we're all sitting there having all the stuff done, and we were sitting there one of the first weeks that I was back, and just went, you know, I just expect Luke to come through the door and come around and give us our little shoulder rubs. And that's not going to happen anymore.
Makes me a
Yeah.
little teary.
But you know, at the same time, like, I don't claim to know Luke that well. You know, I think there's a lot when someone passes. There's so many people who loved and knew him so well. He was, you know, with 90210, he was the guy. That, you know, my connection to him, I will honestly say, I am a small player in a massive life that was Luke.
Would you say on the Riverdale set, KJ is taking it the hardest?
You know, actually, it's really hard to say, although, of course, KJ was very close and Luke is very kind to him because KJ's the youngest, you know. And
I guess
also,
I never really realized that he's
know,
the youngest.
Yeah,
I never really
isn't
realized
it
that.
interesting? He's such a kind of mature, looking person, but and acting person. But, you know, I think KJ is also very close to his family in New Zealand, and so I think, you know, Luke's just very sensitive to that. And he realized this is probably somebody that he should take under his wing and also advise about the sudden fame that is Riverdale to all of the cast, especially the young cast. Like, that's really something he helped them all with. So, yes, of course, they took it hard, but I think in terms of Riverdale, obviously family comes first, but the crew, you know, people forget the crew sees you every single day, and they're devastated, and the writers, and, you know, because they're not on camera, people kind of forget that these are people who Luke knew everybody's name, and not just on Riverdale, but probably every show that he worked on. There's so many stories of him remembering years down the line. Hey, you know, you were the focus puller on, you know, Jeremiah.
Or the PA.
Yeah. He knew everybody, and there were all kinds of stories about how, you know, he would pamper people, send through pamper packages to people who, you know, thought that he hadn't even noticed them, and he had ongoing jokes with Skeet, you know.
I could see that.
Yeah, you know,
I could totally see that.
They had photos of each other all over the set, sort of teasing each other as to who was the most popular hot guy.
Oh my gosh, they're both hot dads.
Yeah, they're all hot guys.
They're all. I mean, everyone.
You know,
they're all
ridiculous.
Hot. Let's be real.
So it's hard to say. I think he just left a gap, you know.
Well, I don't think anyone will be able to fill that gap, but he's still with us.
Yeah,
as you said,
and
he's still with us.
A massive, generous spirit.